Hey everybody, welcome to your unpaid therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of your unpaid therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valery Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know. I am your host, Alikona. She's away. Bradford.
This is your unpaid therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha.
Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba.
Well, hello. Good morning, good evening, good happy snack time, whatever it is. I don't even know I have a British accent because today's guest isn't British, but whatever. Hi, everybody. I am Alikona Bradford, and you know my fabulous co-hostess with the mostest.
Hola, hola.
Hi.
Valerie.
Okay, so today's guest is an everythinger. He is an entrepreneur. He's a wealthy man, because I don't know the proper terminology. I'll just say he's a wealthy man. he can correct me later. He makes lots of things, from projects like Magic to NASA to monster trucks, and one of the faces of Mattel Hot Wheels, by the way. But he's also a very masculine, manly man, so we're going to get a lot of his opinion here. And without further ado, let me just introduce him. It is Mr. Freddie Sheppard.
Hi guys, thanks for having me aboard, and hopefully we're good at this because opinions are opinions, and sometimes I say a little too much and not enough. So here we go.
Exactly, you'll be good. You'll be fabulous. I'm not concerned about you at all. Okay, so today we wanted to get the opinion of Freddie because I've known him forever, and one of the things I love about Freddie is that he is that masculine dude guy, and you're working on stuff, grease under the fingernails, but you're not afraid to be like, hey, I need a little love and tenderness too. And I think we forget about that when we're dealing with somebody who is an alpha male, or I don't know. It's such a stereotype that, I don't know. I just think it's such a stereotype that they don't need that little extra tender loving care. So we'll get into that. But first, let's never have I ever.
Yes, and if you're new to the podcast, we do these never have I evers, some cards and stuff that we've written down just to break the ice, get a little laughs before we get into the deep topics or debates possibly. I have some cards on my end. Freddie, if there's a color that you can see that you can clearly maybe point out.
I'll take the second red one.
Let's see, is it this one?
That's the one.
Okay. Never have I ever hit on someone seemingly out of my league, and to my surprise, they went out with me. This is a perfect guy one.
I'm actually married to her.
Hey!
Yeah. Oh no. I married somebody completely out of my league. In Huntington Beach, young, dumb, having fun, running around at that time, running around the world and creating manufacturing for the the clothing industry and storefronts and so forth, all handcrafted stuff. And I heard the word that there was this beautiful blonde, this IT kind of girl, a blonde that just was the cat's meow, and she's Florida, she's Huntington Beach. And right when I was getting ready to meet her, she took off and she went back to Florida. Her mother got sick. And lo and behold, she pulls up at a stoplight on Beach Boulevard. And I look over to the left, and my roommate's girlfriend goes, meet, that's her. And I went, huh. Hour later, I called her and I just said, this is it. Let's go. And 25 years later, 2 weeks ago, and 4 kids, still rocking. And yes, she's out of my league. Up here, I'm down here.
Oh my gosh, what a cute story, fellas. And I mean, ladies, look, there's hope. You can run into somebody on the street, on the road, and marry them.
I feel like I have too. Hold on, I have ever. Many moons ago when I was at the gym, and you guys both met this person that I was dating for quite some time, but I used to see him at the gym all the time, and I was like, ooh, he's hot. And I had a boyfriend at the time, so I was trying to find any good-looking female that was a friend of mine. I was like, I can't let this dude go to waste. Who can I introduce him to? Never happened. And then one day when I was single, I went to the gym, and I think I told this story. I went to the gym, and I tried to cancel my membership, and he was like, the 1-800 number is... or my phone number is, and he gave me a 1-800 number, and I was like, no, but there was a line behind me, and I'm over here just ask him for his number, and I just went, Okay, thanks, bye. And I left. So then I went home and I called 24-Hour Fitness and asked to speak with him. Thank God he was on lunch because I'm like, what the hell were you really going to say? Like, hi, I'm the girl that tried to cancel my membership. And so then I found him on Facebook because I'm a stalker and was like, excuse me, sir, you gave me the wrong number. And he's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, you did because it wasn't yours. And he gave me his number.
All I'm gonna say is he wasn't out of her league, but whatever.
Oh, well, thank you. I felt like he was very
I am the
Val?
one that always tells Alikona she's at the top of the world. She's
Listen.
an amazing.
Say it louder, Freddie.
It's the
Jesus.
truth, though.
It
She's
is.
the
I know
truth.
it is. You don't got to
I
tell
love it.
me.
I love her having her around. I love her talent, and she makes me smile every time we work together. Love it.
Exactly.
Thank
So,
you.
whatever, sir.
I need to hear your
Look,
answer,
Freddie.
though. You don't get to get off this.
I know because I was always too shy, and if I never got anybody who was out of my league when I thought that never liked me.
Which is hard to believe, by the way.
But it's the truth. Like no, it's not hard to believe, by the way, because I had a unibrow, wasn't allowed to shave my legs when I was in middle school. What else? I was pale, true dork. So it was very easy to believe. But now it's like I think we've talked about this. I see pictures of those guys that I thought were super cute, and I was like, oh my God, I wish they liked me. I'm just like, whew, touched a bullet.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I've seen a lot of those.
Yeah, you're like, dang, I thought he was so hot.
All right, Val, next Never Have I Ever. Let's get through these.
Yes, let's go. Okay, you go.
Okay. I'm going to pick the one with the bright orange facing me. There's like a label.
My bad. Of course.
Whoops.
Never have I ever, oh God, used the bathroom at someone's house and farted so loud there was no way they didn't hear me.
Yes. Oh my God. And what's crazy is I went to their house and I did like yoga, and I think I was making cracks and jokes at them, like, don't fart, because they were like in all these weird positions and it was a dude. Sure enough, I went to the bathroom and I was like, dang, it like echoed. I was like, oh,
wow.
They heard me.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say never have ever. No, that has not happened. We would never be friends again. Like I'd never go to their house again.
No.
Never.
So embarrassing.
I'm out.
Never? Come on.
No. No, I don't think I've ever used anybody's bathroom and they've heard me in their house. No, I don't think so.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One.
Handle my business before I get there. Go ahead.
All right. Last one.
I'm just trying to read through these. Never have I ever gambled on something and won. This is I want to know. Anybody? No gambling and winning.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I was thinking both ways. I've gambled on a million things and lost my hind end, and I've gambled on things that I shouldn't have and won. So life's good.
Sweet. Nothing, Alikona?
No, I'm not a girl. I put a quarter into like Mega Millions and lost, and was like, I'm good.
Miss, I'm gonna win the lotto. I mean, yes. Like, I guess winning depends for people, but I mean, I've won like $20 in Vegas and been like, whoop whoop, cash out. Gambling on life things, right? Like career stuff, and it's like moving to LA. Lots of gambling, relationships, lots of gambling.
That's true.
Lots of losing, but some wins.
I don't know. I think some of the losses are big wins because what you learn out of them and what you carry forward to the next gamble really makes you look at it differently.
Yes.
The truth, though. Yeah.
So you're going to have to rewind that because that is true.
Well, I mean, I wrote the book on losses. I've wrote the book on restarts, and thank God that I've failed and lost so many gambles in my life because that has made me who I am today. And today, there's an old adage, touch it turns to gold. I don't know if it's because of age, but I know it's due to the fact that I don't even entertain or think about or look at certain things anymore unless it's right in my mind. Because if it is not right and it sounds too good to be true, not true. Move on.
I love that.
if it's not, so in your head, meaning like if you don't believe like it's a possibility, then you don't entertain it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's got to be a base of reality, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So many people want to gamble on stuff that's just far fetched, you know. For me, and I did it like everybody else, you know. That true gamble, I guess it is. But the older you get, the more educated you become. The more failures you have, the more you learn. Unless you're just completely not using what's in between the two ears. So,
Which happens.
All right, well let's get into today's topic. So, Freddie
uh-oh.
Sheppard, we've spent many a times on the road having long conversations in the car. Freddie and I used to host together. We toured together,
Mm-hmm.
and we talk about
Yeah.
like our relationships and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I guess it really did surprise me when you were like, I need a hug. I need love, tenderness when I come home. And I love that
Yeah.
you're able to just like articulate that. So I guess like shed some light on us ladies if we're over here looking at dudes. Like you guys just suck at emoting.
I can't really speak for the other side of the fence of certain guys, but I can tell you about guys like me, guys that are the A personalities, the loud ones, or the bad boy mentality, and it doesn't always hit with all the entertainment and business. I'll get with that. On that side of it, a lot of times people think it's just pure strength, and you know these guys, they need nothing. They're gonna go go go. Yeah, I do that, and it's not an image. It's not smoking mirrors. It's reality. It's who we are. 7 days a week. I have businesses all over the place, and I don't stop. Plus, I have a huge career with the number one toy company in the world, Mattel, which is Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live, which I have. It's the pinnacle of my life. I love it. Um, Below family. That's the two things. Make sure I get that right. But it's it's just so important that you got to understand that guys, they're the strong side of the guys, they come home and they just want to pull the release pin, and there's only little things that matter to them. Kids being around, smiling, high fiving, hugging, all that good stuff. But when it does come to relationships or the gals, it's so nice to be comforted. It's so important to be comforted because you go out and you work so hard. It's not about makeup and fancy stuff, and it's not about going out to parties. It's not any of that. It's as simple as a couple little things guys need, especially guys like me, and that's it. That's how simple we are. The more I know of guys that are successful, the less they need, and they're much smaller things that make them happy.
And I wanted to say, before we even get into the guys, why, Alikona, in your opinion, do you have that thought on strong men? Like why does your head go straight there? Like where was that born for you? Obviously, society, blah blah blah. But I want you to explain a little bit on that because I think that's a
Hmm.
big part of why there is that disconnect.
I think because it could be like the types of guys that I am into, and what I just see out in general. I mean, I in like public, just I don't often see. Every once in a while I see emotional like affection men, but not really. And I've in dating, especially, I've had one man in my life who could honestly talk to me vulnerably about stuff in his life, who could cry and be okay with it, and I still felt like he was masculine. Like nothing about it was like, oh, you're so weak. And I do know some women who think that too, by the way. But just like anyone I've ever been involved with, they're so manly, they don't even know how to express that they want those things. And I'd actually be curious, Freddie, because you did come from when you were younger, you know, you were a ladies' man and you were touring the world and you were an athlete that did all these things. So, like, how did you get from that person to being the man you are today? Or were you always like, I need love and affection?
No, 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 no. I was turned. It was 30ish that switched gears because you just found out how empty the other side was. It just, you got to get to a point where it's a relationship where it feels good and there's certain needs you have and you start fulfilling those needs instead of just running wide open. And the tough guy mentality or the mentality of not needing depth to having a relationship, you know, it was way different from young to older.
Yeah. And Val, to answer your question, though, I think one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this is because for the other ladies, like if you are like me, you've encountered a lot of guys like that. I just think it's like really refreshing to hear somebody say like, I need this in my life. Does that make sense?
I need what specifically? Like a
Connection, like depth. I need tenderness. I'm not. how can I explain this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but so for those women that feel like maybe that doesn't exist, Freddie's
Yes,
that
I'm
like
very
light
much that.
bulb for like, oh wait, I had it all wrong. And yes, I agree. I do think that's important. My boyfriend all the time, he's like, same thing like what you're saying, Freddie. He's like, I'm so simple. He's like, just be nice to me, and some other things, but mainly
Mhm.
just be nice to me. He's like, that's all.
It is the absolute key. My sons and all my friends, my close friends, are all of the same breed or mindset, and that's exactly what it is. It's just be kind, be truthful, be thankful, and like you say, other things. But that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I have a lot of people I'm associated with, where I know maybe more from the past of, the Glamis Havasu days, or the Newport Beach days of, it was there was just value in something else, and there really is no value in a handbag or a car or a boat to me. There isn't. It's the value is in the person that you're next to. Whether it's not just hanging out with a guy, or hanging out with your buddy, or hanging out with a girlfriend or a prospective girlfriend or a business partner, it's got to have that value. That's what I go. Okay.
And question for you, Freddie, is that something that because you were able to have this full life and all these amazing experiences into adulthood, into where you are right now, are you where you are now because of that perspective?
I
Like,
do. I have two sons.
if
Yeah.
you said you
Two
had a
sons,
son,
two daughters.
do you have a son? So for your two sons, like, okay, oh, that's okay. So would you advise them like have your fun now, do this, da da da, da, so that they could get to where you are now, so they kind of have all of it, or would you try to steer
I
them to
have
try to get to
learned
where you are now
now
earlier?
that have your fun. It was my, yeah, 100%. That was my mentality. I've learned now that have your fun now is a value that you have in yourself. I needed that to fulfill. So I ran around the world and had fun, a lot of it. And they don't need that, because that wasn't the value of their life. Education, fall in love, follow a dream. I have one kid that's getting married. I'm actually marrying him July 6th to the most beautiful young lady in the world. And she is just a business lady. I'm telling you, she walks into Hollywood, she would knock them dead. She's a country girl up here, super business girl, 22 years old. They're getting married in July. They don't need to go out and see it all to have it. Then my younger son is in law school at ready, 20 years old, and his girl that's in school with him, she's going to be an MDA at under 25. They don't need. I came from Huntington Beach, so I was told you got to run around. You don't get married till you're 40. Don't do it. There's all this value. You have to do this and that. No, you don't. You have to do what this tells you to do. If you find this and this that matches something else, that's the value. And unfortunately, they had me as a dad that probably was, oh no, I'm just going to say unfortunately. I want to say fortunately, because I thought that was the value in life until I had a kid. Then I realized I'm not going to preach that or teach that, because I know more people that didn't follow that way that are successful and happy. I'm not talking successful money. I'm talking successful, same gal, same marriage, their grandparents, their parents, whatever they are, they're happy. They don't need the things that I was told we needed to be happy for the first 30 years of my life. So there you go. It's all based on what I learned in the past life.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I kind of, I'm gonna spit in your ear, guys. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you, Val. I mean, I know that you, like myself, haven't had like a buttload of relationships, but have you had that struggle where you have come across dudes that you're like, I just need you to open up and like talk to me, or I don't know how to approach you to get you to open up and talk to me, or show me something?
Yes, I would say in my last relationship, he was he is a very gentle man, and feels, but it was really difficult to have like to get like deeper, and like really get to the like, but what is the why? And I always said to him, I'm like, if I could take 3 words out of your vocabulary, it would be I don't know. That drove me bananas. I'm like, "Ugh, how do you not know, like, ugh, man." um and he wasn't into therapy and anything like that. So, which it's a generational thing for some men, the not thinking that that would help. So that was the only person I really struggled with going deeper. But I mean, he was very, like I said, very gentle, and he was in touch with his emotions ish. So it's not like I felt like he was like, me, man, me, Tarzan, whatever. It never felt like anything like that. So it wasn't like red flag, the guy's never gonna talk. Um, but just as the relationship got, and I just think trauma and just, I don't know, not ever maybe having those kind of conversations and breakthroughs, it just wasn't a muscle that he was used to flexing. And yeah, so it was
It's
hard.
interesting. You said his response to things would be, I don't know, and it would drive you crazy. I have
Man.
been that person in the relationship. But that's my own trauma
Y'all suck.
response. When I'd be under a lot of pressure, I felt not demanded of an answer, but that would be my default. Like my dude would be like,
You're
I
right.
don't
That's
understand,
the
or
point.
like, why are you upset, or why don't you like that? And I'd be like, I don't know. And
And
it's like,
that's the frustrating
no.
part.
Huh.
You said it's the default, and I know that. And that's frustrating because it's like you do know. You just don't want to say it. There's a block, there's a fear, I don't want to hurt your feelings. It's like fuck that shit. Like hurt my feelings. I don't know. You're a grown ass person. Like you know. And if you don't know, get help. Because I mean that could also be true, right? But
Mhm.
then I just don't want that this limbo that you're living in is like, then what are we doing here? And if you don't want to know, then cool, then I'm gonna know alone in a
Yeah.
different relationship. So what did
Say it again.
have you been in I don't know, Freddie? Have you been in I don't
I
know?
don't think so. I'm pretty. If you ask me what restaurant I want to go to, I'm going to tell you. You ask
So
me what
if
I want to eat, I'm
you're,
going to tell you. Where I want to go, I'm going to tell you. I'm thinking about the next thing in 5 minutes. Let's go. I
yeah, but even Freddie, deeper stuff than like restaurant. Like, let's say you have a serious conversation with your wife. Things are good, but let's just say hypothetically there's a serious detrimental issue between you and her. Do you ever get into a space and place where you're like, I don't like, you don't know how to answer? Not that you don't know, but you just default to I don't know
absolutely.
because you
Every
don't want to
guy's
say
trained to
something.
do
You
that.
don't know
If we're
how to.
talking only on the relationship level, we are trained out of the gate. Watch this. I'm sure you've heard this. Let me tell you. Let me ask you guys a question. Happy wife, happy life. You ever heard that? Okay, well, we're taught that at a young age. Once
Yeah.
you're in a relationship,
Yes.
always somebody pats you on the shoulders and they tell you, learn to keep your mouth shut. Every man has heard that from whoever is in charge of him, his uncle, his dad, his grandpa, his friend. I remember when we were young, man, we're arguing over something. And it would be her dad or I don't have a father. So her dad or one of the men I looked up to would say, listen, the key is just keep your mouth shut. And that's just the way it is. Not that that we don't know what to say or how to say it, but sometimes it's easier to go to the I don't know. There you go. On certain things.
Hmm. I love that you just brought that up. I literally had this conversation with my boyfriend, like, I want to say 3 days ago. And he gets very frustrated with this happy wife, happy life thing. Because of that, because it's just like, sure, but also like the man, there's so much pressure and so many responsibilities and so much like that men are just told like, well, you got to shut that down. Well, it's okay, but you're not allowed to feel all of that. Just keep her happy. Which obviously a strong,
Yeah.
loving man wants to keep his partner happy. Like that's well, hopefully, right? Like the obvious, but in his perspective, and I'm sure all the fellas is like, yeah, brother. He's like, it's hard to hear all the time because it means like, cool, but your feelings don't matter. That's not really what people are trying to say, but that is like the consensus, and you hear that all the time. And the fact that you just brought it up, and like in random conversations, exactly what you were saying, there's a little bickering or whatever, and somebody in the room, like I could bet money on it, is gonna be like, happy wife, happy life, And I feel bad for the guys because I mean, if the roles were reversed, I'd be like, but you know what? Well, not but what about my feeling? You know what I mean? We're gonna get all defensive and be like, but what about us? And the
Yeah.
men, they just eat it all the time. They just take it. They're like, okay. So that makes sense.
I don't know, but I mean, I guess the last person I was in a relationship was definitely not like, well, I wasn't his wife, but happy girlfriend, happy life. Like, no, if he was unhappy, he'd let me know, and not like a fight or anything, but he would let me know. And he was definitely not like, let me make sure I'm like doing everything to please her so she's happy. So, I mean, like, what about you, Freddie? As far as in your relationship, are you making sure you're tippy-toeing around, or making sure you're doing all the things to make
No,
sure she's
I
happy?
married intelligence and independent. I mean,
No.
she's raised 4 kids. I've been on the road forever, and my 4 kids are all 4.0s. Both the kids are out of high school that are doing just over the top amazing things, and my young ones below are coming in strong. Um, that only applies to when it gets to a certain level. No, I don't. I mean, it's not always like that, and I don't, you know me, Alikona. I don't tiptoe around anything. I walk with very heavy feet and stand for what I stand for. But I understand, you get to a certain fine line, and if we get to that point where it's like, okay, it's either going to get to the point where we don't talk for a couple hours or we don't talk till tomorrow, just get it done because it's not that important. And again, failure, if you use it as wisdom and knowledge, creates a better future. And I think that's maybe what I'm applying or trying to convey to you guys. Yeah, not in general, but if it gets to that point, yeah,
Yeah.
I back out.
And I want to be clear that just because somebody says happy wife or happy life and they follow that or like that, it doesn't mean
Right.
that they tiptoe, right? Like that doesn't equal the same person, because David's definitely not that kind of person as well. He's very strong and very opinionated and loud about what he likes or doesn't like or whatever, but he's also super gentle and very great communicator and super loving and patient, way more patient than I am. So but it just kind of comes with being a man from what I've heard. Some men, and then this whole alpha beta male thing, like that's a whole thing on, the alpha male is this way and he can't have feelings, and the beta male's a pussy, or sorry, beep, beep. It's all late. That's a whole label that's been put on men and women these days that kind of put these stereotypes into the atmosphere and kind of makes you feel like, well, I'm going to be this, but if you're that, you can't be that, because now, now you're a woman. So it's quite interesting.
So then, hold on, let me ask you. I'm actually going to ask Freddie this because, as a woman, oftentimes like we're told not to be like too super like complaining or this that, because even just out in the world, right? Like if we state what we want or we don't want, then all of a sudden, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but all of a sudden, like you're difficult or you're this or you're that or she's a bitch and blah 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 blah. Is that ever a concern for you in your relationship or just out in general, as far as like, let me make sure I need to pull it back? Or
No,
just like,
yeah, you have to pull back your personality. If
like
I had my personality that I have at my shop where I'm at right now, or at the, we have a trade show business also. If I'm got to be aggressive and stand my ground every inch of the way, entertainment, same way, it's a go, go, go. But I have to leave some of that at the door because it's not fair to bring that lifestyle into the neutral zone or into somebody else's kingdom, because if you're talking about just my relationship, she's created a true kingdom, and that's her house. And that's the way she's raised those kids and the way she is succeeded in everything. I have to leave some of that at the door or it would just be a mess, because it's wide open 7 days a week. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning working on the next project or whatever it is. And yeah, I've learned the more you leave at the door, the healthier the relationship is inside that house. So.
Is that something, I'm assuming the answer is no, but that you saw growing up, or is again just through failure? Is that something that you learned and having these things happen within your relationships?
I don't know how it happened. I don't know what the guidance was to get me to. It just happened. I just saw the world getting easier, and actually, it was my family. I think it was my kids and my wife saying, "Hey, you know what? Take it down, slow it down, leave that behind. Let's enjoy the moment right now." Oops, and that's I mean,
That's awesome.
everybody's so different. It's like, I don't know. Everybody tries to have these relationships like what people, I don't know. Let's just go back to guys this is the way I see guys outside of my family, or I think that I see them, is they're watching Instagram or TikTok or a TV show, or the families have told them how it has to be. And I don't think that's the way it has to be. I think you could just get in your relationship. It's whatever two people that get together need, whatever it is. It's two guys, two gals, whatever the mix is. As long as those two people understand the needs that each one of them have, then things are smooth. Now, I've learned that's not only the truth in relationship, but it's in business and just association with anybody. You have to put your ground rules down, what you will accept and what you won't accept, and then give your best, because you're going to get the best from those that can be in that relationship. And if that's not the relationship, well, then that's up to you. If you have time to waste on something that isn't like that, then that's your deal, and that's your life, and that's what you're expecting your result to be the next day and the next day and the next day. I don't. I expect my result to be better tomorrow, and I expect my kids to be better tomorrow. So we pair up with those. Like I work with Alikona, and I'm working with one of the best live hosts. And that is the value. I work with Marty Florence, the best. And we expect more each week as we perform. And if people can relate that to their relationships, then good. But the problem is, most guys and most gals that I have seen struggle follow somebody else's set of rules. I don't know where the rules come from. I think they come from social media. I think they come from past relationships that parents or friends tell them how it's supposed to be, or you're supposed to be treated. That's up to them. So,
I love that you brought that up. I think social
yeah.
media, especially in our day and age right now, is it forces you to compare. Like we already naturally compare. We're comparing old relationships, things, other relationships, other people we see, kind of a human thing to do, but
Mm-hmm.
having this at our fingertips and seeing this person, that person, and they went on that vacation and blah 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 blah, it puts it in your face, and I definitely think it could really hurt where you are now, and in your own safe relationships and
Mm-hmm.
friendships, whatever, career. So I love that you brought that up, because I do think it's really messed a lot of us
It's people
up.
reaching out for your validation for their life, whether it's work, vacation, business, body alterations, whatever it is, or a car. And they need you to tell them it's cool in order for them to feel good about themselves. So if you look at my social media, it is vanilla as you get. I talk about Hot Wheels and I plug in my family every now and then. That's it. Because your value is what you've created for yourself,
Yeah.
and the way you look at yourself in the mirror. That's it. And you get older.
Yeah. I love that you actually brought that up, Freddie, and like the body alterations. It's so interesting because, you see, this is a little off topic, but like you see the girls with like the eyelashes that have gotten like excessively long, and then the lip injections and all the things. And I think the perception for some women is they're doing it to be sexy and to be attractive. But at the end of the day, I'm like, actually, girl, you're doing it for your other women. Like, because I'm pretty sure, and not that you can speak for all men in the entire planet, Freddie, but I'm pretty sure it's like, y'all don't care about all those injections and the extras, but we're over here thinking, we're doing it for men, but really you're doing it to impress the next girl and get your lips bigger than the next girl and the next girl, because you, for some reason,
I have a
that's
lot of
what guys want.
friends that do a lot of things, male and female. And if it's weight loss, if it's a different haircut, if it's tanning, if it's, again, alterations, if you're doing that and it's truly making you happy, rock on, do it all. But if you need that to have somebody else validate who you are, you've made the mistake. It's a bad investment, it's a bad decision, and it's not going to make you a better person. But if you go get something, you get your lip injections, you go get anything done, and it makes you feel better inside, to become a better person and a little bit stronger tomorrow, do it. Do it today. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think it's important you said that, because it is a really fine line. Like, I definitely don't want to
No.
shame like anybody. I mean, I don't like the butterfly lashes too, but honey girl, if you feel
Yeah.
good, get them
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're implying, Alikona, I do believe that exists. There is some of that competition, or that like again, back to the comparison. But also, so it's hard. It's there's a balance because especially now,
Mm-hmm.
the social media platform and all everything, like, that is their business. So that is how they're putting food on the table. So like, we could be scrolling and
Yeah.
be like, look at that girl in her little bikini, whatever. She looks fly. And other people can be like, oh, she what is it? What are they trying to, I forgot what they call it, but like she
Thirst
Yeah.
trap.
thirst trap. There it goes. Oh, that's a thirst trap. Da, da, da. Whatever. All this judgment, and then mind you, behind the scenes, this is a businesswoman. She knows like this is
Yeah.
gonna get this many views and da 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 da. Again, not my cup of tea. That's not my best friend. But like, also, I can't really judge
Let's do
her
this.
thing.
Let's
Like
say we have an
that's
airplane with 1 million people in the airplane. Okay. Everybody's got a parachute. Everybody's on Instagram. Everybody with those parachutes have had alterations. One of those 1 million beautiful people are going to land on the earth with the parachute open and walk away with some financial gain from it. Those other 999,999 are going to splatter on the ground. So I don't agree with you. I think that this whole internet thing with everybody doing their thing, I can't look at it in any other way than if it's a business for you, hallelujah. And I praise you to anything because I love entrepreneurs, I love hustlers, but it is blown out of proportion because no, these people, male or female, on the internet that are doing their thing, they're not making money doing this. They're just not
I disagree. A lot of them are. I mean, that one that didn't splatter on the ground,
killing
the
it.
successful ones, and there's plenty of them for it to be
But
a thing now.
a percentage
Um,
wise, you're saying
they're
yes.
they're
Like
doing well
versus people.
enough for it to be a thing. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if that didn't exist. We have an opinion about it, and we and it's like, oh, that's how you're making your money, whatever. But some of these people are
Oh
very
yeah.
good at it. These YouTubers. I mean, there's that little kid who makes
Oh yeah.
millions from opening gifts or something like that. That person, you know what I mean? Like that
I
exists.
agree it
It's
exists,
a
and I agree these
reality.
these people are making millions and millions of dollars, and I think they're doing a great thing for them. They're doing a great thing, and it's an amazing free market. I love it. I
Correct.
love the land we live in. You can if you can not dream it, if you can do it, you'll get it. But it's the amount of people, and it's the low percentage in that genre, the social media genre. Take those that went to become doctors. What 80%, 85% of them succeed and become wealthy? If it's about wealth coming out of there or if it's about just sharing, it depends on the value you're looking for out of it to me. But for success on monetizing it, I think it's pretty low numbers wise.
I think
I
what he's
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to say is
yeah,
the
yeah,
percentage of people, right? Like, yes, you can make lots of money, but it's
yeah.
very difficult to do. It's not like you can just hop on and like.
That's my point, though. That's exactly my point. That the ones that are making the money and are successful at it, it's not because they're stupid. It's because they
Yeah.
know business. It's because they understand branding. It's because they understand content and all the other BS that you need to know to be successful.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point. So it's not like Sally and Montana
Yes, I
putting on a
agree.
bikini by the pool
But the
trying to be cute.
but
That's
98%
my
of them are
point. Like,
Sally and Montana by the
oh,
pool, as you said. 2% are the business people.
and I'm
that
sorry, Sally
that
girl.
2% you're talking about, the lady, the gal that's got a team behind her and has that business savvy and is dedicated
Lord.
and has the longevity to hit it. And once she hits it, she never's got to turn back for the rest of her life. She's changed her grandkids' life, if you want to look at it that way. Problem is, she makes it look so easy for the rest of the world that we have so many followers. That's all I'm saying to you. In that
Yes.
genre, the 2 or
Oh, I
3% that
agree.
are hitting it. I mean, look at New Heights. I mean, my goodness, they're going to sign one of the biggest deals ever. Those guys are rocking because they're popular. There's also 7,000. Or not those guys. Those would be a good example. Name. I don't. I say I don't watch. I don't do the social media thing that on that kind of level. But
Right.
I just know a lot of people that have tinker with it. It's their lives, but they're tinkering with it. Like maybe put it down for a little bit and go to use it for what I do, like watching you guys or watching something else like I'm into. I'm more of a viewer than a creator. So you guys are the creators, so you're in a whole different world than me
Sure.
because I don't have what you guys have. I don't have that. You guys are the special ones to me. So I don't know. I got kind of lost on this thing, but yeah, that's yeah,
And I think knowing that about
yeah,
yourself is important. And I agree. A lot of
yeah.
people do make it look easy, and there's a lot of the followers, no pun intended, out there who have lost track. And then is that a societal thing? Is that like bad parenting? Is that poor education? Is it all of it? You know, there's so much that the
Sure.
that I think makes our young people now, and shoot, my generation as well, um, fall into these little traps of like, this
I
is
have four
trendy,
four
you
kids
know?
that
I'm gonna
love
lead them.
social media. We don't restrict them from it. We never have. We've created super strong, super successful kids. More so, my wife has done that for them. Um, but we just taught them reality. I want to be an influencer. Well, that's going to take over your life. You've got to create this, this, and this, and manage it as a business if you want to monetize it. It's a lot of work. It takes a very special business person and a very intelligent person to make that work. But bad parenting would
Yes.
be allowing everybody to believe that if you've got a cell phone, and you can record it and you can put a story out every now and then, or I don't know what you call them, but if you put them out, you're going to be super successful doing it. That's bad parenting to me. Maybe help them write a business plan and show them what the dedication is and say, okay, let's sample this for 6 months. Every day, 3 times a day, lock and load. We're going to go for 6 months straight. Most people on the planet can't do that, even if they're a grown adult. Try it with a child and then get to it and they go, okay, now I want you to understand the lesson I taught you. Enjoy your life, enjoy your childhood, do your thing. So that's it.
It's so true.
I love that. And on that note, I have not figured out social media yet, by the way. Part of me doesn't care, but knows that I probably should care because of the business that I'm in. But anyway, so if any of you guys have tips on how we can make it happen, you let me know. But I think that we're slowly running out of time. So thank you, Freddie, for your input. I know that we were sort of all over the place, but
I love
that's
it.
usually how it rolls. And okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for all of those insights. There's so many gems. I feel like we're gonna have to like rewind and replay them. Your time, obviously, and
I wish you guys the best
appreciate
luck
it.
in the world, the best success. I think what you guys have, what you guys offer to me is reality. You guys are just opened up. You open up stuff. You talk about stuff. I think it's great, and I think a lot of people, if they actually started paying attention to you guys and following you guys, the more and more that do, I think you guys are going to get big and have some fun. I'm excited for you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm a big
We
fan. So
appreciate
here we
that.
go.
Mhm.
And here we go. And that's, and Val says all the time, that's why we do the podcast, is so we can have these raw, real conversations, whatever it is. I'm cutting you off, you're cutting me off, we're all over the place. But that's how we talk when we're good friends. And we want our listeners and viewers to feel like they're good friends right along with us, just
Awesome.
having a combo. So anyways, but yeah, that wraps up. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Freddie. I want to say thank you, Val, but thank you. Thank you for being my friend.
You're welcome. Right. Thank you, everybody. Till next time.
Mwah!